Recently, I've been endeavouring to break up with emulators and play as much as possible on real hardware. This isn't totally for dirty pirate reasons either. I regularly cover topics like prototypes and unreleased games on my unreleased or unobtainable and Sunday quickie videos, so it would be nice to show the gameplay as authentically as possible. While this is fairly easy to achieve on disc-based consoles, I've started to collect flashcards to cover everything else. These will likely be from China on a budget, and I'll determine if they suck. In recent episodes of Does It Suck?, I covered the GBA Supercard SD and the ED64 Plus for Game Boy and Game Boy Color. The Supercard did indeed suck, and while the ED64 Plus wasn't awful, it was also a shameless EverDrive clone. I do not gel with the fact that bad actors are stealing hardware designs and selling subpar versions, especially when the creator of the EverDrive, Crix, is such a well-known and respected member of the retro gaming community. So I decided to not buy those for this series, but when I started to cover today's topic, the ED64, I came to the realization that I had done exactly that. Upon discovering this, I scanned the listing on AliExpress to see if it mentioned the EverDrive at all, as the ED64 Plus had. It doesn't, but of course, ED is in the title. I should have known. After years of buying electronics from China, I've grown accustomed to ignoring abbreviations and other lettering in sale descriptions. More often than not, they're random and meaningless. But I have it now, so we may as well see what it's all about. The N64 is notoriously difficult to emulate after all, especially with later games like Conker's Bad Fur Day. I paid $87 Australian on AliExpress, although it looks like the price has gone up since I bought it. Score. The seller's description was certainly enthusiastic. It starts with, "Your business with me will be a pleasant experience for you. I am dedicated to bring joy, safe, and top quality products for you." Followed by, "First time we do business, next time we become friends." Isn't that nice? Although I don't really want to be friends with someone who sells hardware clones. Otherwise, the listing brags that it's the new version 3, although I never actually figured out what that meant. It probably doesn't mean anything. There is also a multi-color LED built in, which is referred to as a breathing light. I guess I should agree that it is much more beautiful with the machine turned on. It ain't ugly. Another feature is that it can switch between PAL and NTSC by pumping the PAL switch twice, but it is region free, so you may as well play the faster NTSC ROMs anyway. The feature list also mentions Famicom and GBC emulation, but I never figured out how to do that. Not that I need to, but it's not mentioned at all in the manual. The cartridge supports a micro SD card of up to 32GB, and the formatting is flexible, supporting FAT, FAT16, and FAT32. I found it difficult to insert and remove the card with freshly cut nails, however. I've been using a spudger instead. The cartridge I bought included a 16GB card with over 340 games, which were totally endorsed by Nintendo, I'm sure. Thanks to a nicely formatted spreadsheet on the card itself, I know that 332 ROMs are NTSC, 241 are PAL, and the remaining 190 are Japanese. All in all, there's about 12GB of pirated games included. The cartridge supports a maximum ROM size of 64MB or 512 megabits, and as far as I can tell, there are no commercial releases bigger than that. You can of course add your own ROMs. This is achieved by simply dragging and dropping the file onto the SD card. No external software is necessary. Also included on the card are additional wallpapers for the menus, although I couldn't figure out how to change them. There is a PDF manual also included on the SD card, but it doesn't mention how to do it, much like the emulation. All this fluff aside, you might be wondering if it can play games okay. Turns out, yes it can. I tried a variety of games that were included, plus a few I added myself. Games that are notoriously difficult to emulate, like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Pokemon Stadium 2, World Driver Championship, and Banjo-Tooie, all worked well in my testing. There's not really much to say otherwise in that regard. Everything worked like it was supposed to. To save in-game, you need to follow the usual process, but hit reset on the console when you finish playing. This way, a specific file is written to the SD card. It doesn't seem to work otherwise. I tried to save a game onto my memory pack before realizing this, and the whole pack corrupted. It was an aftermarket unit, so it may have just been a coincidence, but just be aware of my experience if you buy one yourself. I don't actually have any other memory packs on hand since that was my last one, but if the game supports an SRAM save, then all you need is the SD card. Not many games support this unfortunately, but I tried it out with the new Tetris. Also, excuse the quality drop for this video capture. I keep forgetting that the reset button doesn't work on my RGB modded N64. I'll be switching to a stock console with only composite to demonstrate, but keep an eye out for a future video where I hopefully fix that reset button on the RGB modded console. Anyway, I played enough of a game that I could store a save with my initials, hit the reset button, and then I completely turned off the console just to be sure. Switching it back on and loading up the game, and there it is. The process works. I couldn't really find much online about this specific cartridge. There's oodles of results for the ED64 Plus, however. Even in the cartridge menus, the support website is listed for the Plus, which doesn't go anywhere by the way. Even the Wayback Machine has nothing to show. So then, does it suck? Well, frankly, I started to review these clone cartridges as a bit of a joke, but now I just feel bad. This is a stolen design and takes away from the real MVPs of the retro gaming community. So yes, it sucks.